Good evening, guys. Happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. I am currently in the back room, the sunroom right now, because I was going to share with you guys the outside and the snow that we got today, which is significantly the most snow that we've gotten so far this year, but it's still nothing like they were kind of hyping it up to be. And again, maybe the most that we've gotten, I don't even want to say in the last like few years really, but like in one snowfall. But the other thing too was that, okay, so they were hyping up this snowstorm was supposed to be like really bad and everything like that. We were supposed to get a ton of snow. It was supposed to be like 6 plus, like 6 to 8 inches, like all this kind of stuff. And you know, they were like, originally I think it was supposed to be like 3 to 6 inches, and they were like 6 to 8 inches. And maybe some areas got some, but they did have like national weather reporters and stuff like that, like set up, like Chicago and like all that kind of stuff, and like obviously around, most likely in our area. You know, with being like, oh, you know, they're gonna get this really bad snowstorm, and again, it wasn't really that much snow. We maybe got 3 inches, and the thing was that, I don't know, it was kind of weird between like just the snow, but then also too between like hearing Jack and my dad even too, like what they were saying. So like Jack's was supposed to have class today, but I think I was telling you guys too, like they had canceled like the schools, and they were like e-learning day and all this kind of stuff. And again, we did get kind of a decent amount, but like the thing was is that it was over a long kind of period of time, and we never had like the big like heavy like snow, like, you know, like where it's blowing down, like you can't see anything and it's just coming down really fast, like the snow plows can't really keep up and like all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty sad snowstorm, and I think something's blowing outside, so light just came on out there. So let me show you guys what the light is actually on, because it's a little bit easier to see. The light is not going to stay on for all that long, but it probably picked up something. You guys might even be able to still kind of tell maybe a little bit. Oh, the light went out. Oh, but you can still see. Anyways, you might have been able to see a little bit. It is still snowing, like a slight bit, but, and I think they said like 3 a.m. or something like that is when it's supposed to like completely stop, and we're not supposed to get any more snow. But that's pretty much what we got. Like if you guys can see like very well out there on the table, you can see like that there's you know, like the table, and you can clearly tell where the wood is, and then you can tell the light bit of snow that's kind of on top of it. Again, it looks like it's maybe about 3 inches, and that's even being generous. I feel like it's really not all that much snow that we ended up getting. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not like it's kind of a sad snow day for my dad being home, and Jack's class being canceled from, you know, like from college. And then again too, like they had all of the high school and the elementary schools, they're all e-learning days, you know, like that kind of stuff. And again, from the news and the media and the weather reports and everything like that, it made it sound like this was going to be such a bad snowstorm, and it really wasn't. And again too, like even the streets weren't that bad, like to keep up with it and everything. So, you know, like this is honestly kind of how it has been like, oh, you know, we're gonna get this really bad snowstorm, and then it's like, yeah, we'll get like, you know, 3, again, from what I heard was 3 to 8 inches. It did change at points where it was like 3 to 6, and then they were like 6 to 8, and then it might have been like 3 to 6 again. But yeah, we got the lesser end of what the prediction was, and like I said, that's if even if even 3 inches. It honestly looks like less than that to me. Like, and even too, when I got up, I was like, oh, like there's gonna be like, you know, because it's supposed to start at like 9 o'clock. Well, then I heard it like wasn't supposed to start until like noon or something like that. When I got up, like there was like a light dusting, like kind of like out, like you could still see the grass, like there wasn't even enough snow to cover the grass. And like I said, it was supposed to have started at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it didn't even start at 9. And then the other thing too was that I heard from what Jack said was that it was also supposed to snow kind of a lot at like 3 o'clock, because originally the school was actually, his college was open today, and they had classes like in the morning, but they were closing the school at 3 o'clock because apparently it was supposed to get like worse at 3 o'clock. So his class actually went until 4 o'clock. So what his professor told him was just like, well, we're starting this thing anyway. If you want to like work on it yourself or whatever, you know, like you can. If I guess class was open to come in, but they were like, because you guys have to leave the school by 3 o'clock, and his class went from like 1, I think, until 4 o'clock. And they were like, you don't, you know, like if you want to work on it yourself, because you're gonna go back home and probably be working on it yourself anyway, or whatever it was, he was like, you know, again, you don't really have to come in kind of thing, or, you know, make that your decision kind of. And Jack was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go. So he didn't end up going into class today, but you know, the school was like officially supposed to be like closed down at 3 o'clock because I think they wanted everybody out before that, because again, it was supposed to like start back up again. It literally did not, and it's kind of been like lightly snowing, kind of dusting all day. There was a good chunk of period where we got a little bit more snow and it was like snowing, but it really wasn't that much and it was not that bad. So yep, that was the big bad snowstorm that we were supposed to get, but it is supposed to continue like tomorrow and through Saturday, I think. And maybe one of those days we're supposed to get a little bit more like a heavy snow, but I think it's supposed to kind of stay like how it has been for the most part, where it's like, oh, just kind of like a light dusting, and maybe gets a little bit heavier and a little bit lighter, but like honestly, it does not really seem like it's gonna be, I mean, if it's like this, if this was supposed to be the worst part of it and it's supposed to continue, I don't think we're getting much worse snow than this. So yeah, anyways, I am finishing up my Meyer list. I think we're gonna try and go tomorrow. I mean, so long as there's not a big bad snowstorm coming tomorrow, but I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all very sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.